Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm starting a new thing where I'm trying to not necessarily de-stash because I always am buying stuff for my stash, but I'm trying to use more of the things that I purchase rather than just putting them in tubs, thinking about them later, and I have a lot of stuff. So I decided to make one or two projects where I exclusively use either stuff that I would normally throw away or stuff that has been sitting in my stash for a really long time. So let's get to my first project. So this project has a cover that was made from some cardboard that was used. I think I received some items in the mail in a cardboard box, and that's what I used for this. The fabrics and the trims were all things from my stash, including this brown ribbon that I tied it shut with. Now this is a fairy / nature themed book. I always have a lot of stuff in my stash, and I had been watching my friend Cindy at Studio Lou, and she had been making a lot of fairy journals recently, and I was like, I have a lot of that stuff, so I decided I was going to jump on the bandwagon. So let's just take a look at what I made. Okay, so the first page has a pocket that has some acetate over it and a picture of a fairy, which is really, really pretty. From a book that I had broken down a long time ago, I just used some green paper and cut out a frame. And here's the tag that I made to go into the pocket. And this journal is mainly has a lot of writing space, so I tried to use a lot of papers and embellishments that I had in my stash. I had this in my stash. It has this very cute, I made this cluster a while ago, very cute snail on a bulb pin. There's a pocket. Here's a journaling card I made for in the pocket. Again, I used a lot of things I'd cut out of books and I just had in my stash, and stickers I had in my stash, papers I've had forever in my stash, some printables that I had used portions of the printables and not used the rest of them. Again, here's a cluster I made from a bunch of things that I had previously had in my stash for a really long time. I had made a fall, or started to make signatures for a fall book a while back. I had made a lot of clusters for that and just never made the fall book, so some of these things have come from that. Here's a tag with a little folder in it. It's lined with some washi tape. There's just a card I made from tag I cut from some cardstock that was in my stash forever. This is just purely for decorative purposes. This is one of the tags I'd made for that fall book, but I decided to make it into a tuck and just added a little fairy to the front. And here's the journaling card I put in it. This frog is way adorable. And then it just has some journaling room on the back. Coffee stained filter. This was some trim that I had made a long time ago and just never used because it's pink, and I generally don't use a lot of pink in my books, but it seemed to match the theme for this, so I used it. And then I had purchased these acetate bottles that they're like peel-off stickers on the front, and so my daughter had done some dried flowers while she was home visiting, so she made me some ferns and some things from out on the lawn, and then I just put a little fairy in the bottom with that, attached it with a bulb pin, and then if you look really close, there's some fairy wings up here that I had in my stash. I took a piece of cardstock from my stash and ran it through my embossing folder. And then made a pocket with a little acetate window and some fall leaves in it. And here's the tag I made to fit in the pocket. And this just flips open. It's an envelope. I don't have anything particularly in that envelope right now. I made a little coin pocket with some book page, and then I just slotted in a little retail tag that I had floating around in my stash forever into the pocket. This was just some printables that I had and I never used, and I didn't particularly like the image at the bottom, so I put a little sticker over it. This is some washi from my stash on the back of this printable. This is just a washi sticker from my stash. This is a pocket I made from a glassine bag, and some lace and some washi and an old button and some charms from my stash. Here's the tag that I created to go in the pocket. And then this folds open. It's an envelope, and again it has another journaling card in the pocket, and here's another picture of that frog. And then this is the top of the envelope, and I just created this tag with a lot of texture and dimension to slide into that pocket. Some scrapbook paper from my stash. Here's a journaling card I made to put in this belly band. This is part of the scrapbook paper. There's that frog again. Cute little snail. This was a printable that I never used. Again, some more pink lace. This is a printable I never used. Another printable I never used. I just made into a journaling card. This is some paper that I had in my stash. There's some book page I had in my stash. This is a pocket up here, but I didn't include anything in it. And also another pocket down here, but I didn't include anything in it. And then side pocket that was from a printable that I never used. And here's a little tag that I made, fit in this pocket down here. This is some paper that was in my stash, and I just cut out some mushrooms from a printable I had and put that on there. And then here is some eco-dyed paper from my stash, and this little fairies booklet that I created. I just cut out some tag shapes out of some papers that were left over, and used some eco print paper that I had and created it, put it in this library pocket. I love this lace that's on here. This particular piece is real lace. This is scrapbook paper on the back here. Other side of that printable. Other side of that printable. This is some scrapbook paper I had in my stash. This is very textural. This is really cool paper. I don't even know where I got that from, but it's really neat. It was in my stash. Again, cut this out of some papers I had in my stash. These are some die cuts. This little pocket I created with a tag. Here's a little cluster I made. Again, this is just some more of that eco printing, and on the back is just some blank ledger. Here is some more of that eco printing. This opens up. This is purely decorative, but there are several sheets of tea dye paper with just some washi stickers in the corner. Here's a glassine bag pocket. Sorry, my boyfriend went out to get food and my dog is like barking his head off. And then this is a tag I created with just a pocket at the bottom with some more scrapbook paper. Here is a tag, go in the pocket. This slides into the glassine bag. And this is also a tuck, so you can put something behind it. Here's some more pink trims from my stash. As I said, I rarely ever use pink trims, so this book had a lot of trims to be used. Here is a little pocket that I made. I just punched out some small tags to fit in it. Some book page, Edith Holden. Here's a little folder that I had from, I think it was from a printable in my stash, and then I just put some washi inside it and took a paper clip and bent the ends up curly, placed it on the page. It's just a cutout from a book I had, and then I created this little tag to go inside. Again, some more fairy wings and a little cluster. Some more Edith Holden. Some tea-dyed handmade paper. This is just washi on the edge of the pages. More Edith Holden. This is just a tag I created to go on the other side of this pocket. And then this is just some paper I had in my stash. Come on, friends, go back in there. Thank you. This is just a little tuck I made and a cluster, again with a little fairy, and here's another one of those very, very cute snail charms. This is some eco dye. I think this is a printable. I think I got that from Jibidneri. This is ledger on one side and it's plain paper on the other side. This is a little pad of eco dye, tea dye, some baking paper, some packing paper, and it's all on an old vintage dictionary page. I've made a pocket on the other side with some lace and some scrapbooking paper, large tag. Again, another page of Edith Holden, some washi, another printable I never used, and then I made this, oops, got caught up there, this floating pocket with some vintage doily that was really a beautiful fall color. And this opens up. There's nothing in it at the moment, but it does have storage space inside. I thought it was woodsy. I thought it went with the theme, so there we go. And then it just has some scrapbook paper on the back, and that can be clipped anywhere in this book. And then a printable that I never used, some washi, a small page of Edith Holden. This is some artificial flowers from my stash, and again, this idea was from Cindy at Studio Lou. She on her fairy books did the edges with some artificial flowers, and then these are die cuts. A little bit of washi sticker at the bottom here. Some more Edith Holden. Some more printables I never used. A little glassine pocket with, look up close, a little cluster on it. And then inside is just another one of those garment tags. This is a printable I never used. Some more Edith Holden. And then on the other side of this dictionary page, I just had this little trifold that I used, printables that were in my stash that I hadn't used, and lace, and yeah, it just clips on this last page of the book, like so, with a paper clip. And then this is the back of the book, and that's the back of the cover. So I feel like even though it's not in my normal range of what I generally make, that this book turned out really cute, and it was made out of all things I already had in my stash. And this may end up being one of the things I decide to do for my giveaway, is give this book away, because as I said, it's not my normal style. I probably wouldn't use it, and hopefully somebody who would like to join my giveaway would be interested in this book. So I hope you like this. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're having a great day. I hope things are going really well in your life and you're being kind to one another. And remember that I love you, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Bye bye.